Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I've got some really great outdoor projects for you, and it's part of the Hello Summer collab, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Let's jump in. For our first project, you'll need 2 of these signs that I found. They were at Dollar Tree around Easter time. And you'll need some jumbo popsicle sticks. So we're going to use the back of these signs and we're going to glue them together like that. So using the jumbo popsicle sticks, these are some wooden garden stakes that I found at a different dollar store, but they're the same thing as the popsicle sticks. So you're just going to put some hot glue on them and use them to brace the 2 signs together. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use some spackle in that little crease there. So just using my finger, I just filled it up with that spackle. This spackle is really great. It starts off pink and then changes to white as it dries. Now we're going to fill those holes as well. So I put a little piece of the popsicle stick on the back and hot glued it. And now I'm going to fill the holes with some hot glue. You don't fill it right up to the top, but you're just going to use it kind of as a spacer. And then once the glue dries, you're going to level out the top with the spackle. So I'm just using my finger, I just rubbed it over to fill up the rest of that hole to make it nice and smooth. And then see how it turns white when it's dry? Now we're just going to use the sanding block, sand it all down, make it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to take my white folk art chalk paint and I'm going to give the entire sign a good coat of the white paint. Now, depending on your preference, you don't have to do a perfect coat. If you want more of a rustic look, then go ahead and let some of the brown show through. So now that the white's all dry, I'm going to take this black paint and my little sponge brush from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just go around the edges. I'm creating kind of a border. Now, I don't have it going perfectly straight. I want it to look, from a distance, I want it to look more like one of those old metal enamel signs with just the black border. So I'm not worried about if it's straight or how perfect it is. So sorry it's out of frame a little bit here, but I'm going all the way around the entire sign. So you'll see us in a second when I turn it. I went along that scalloped edge there. And then you can just go back over and fix any spots that you don't like. But it's really easy just using that little sponge and just going all along. You do want to make sure you have quite a bit of paint though on the sponge so that it does give you a nice thick line. Okay, and now that's all done. I'm going to take this decal. It's a wall decal that I found at my local Buck or Two store, which is another little Canadian dollar store. So then I just cut that out and stuck it on there. Now I would go over, I didn't do it on camera, but I would give it a coat of either some Mod Podge or some polyacrylic, something to protect it. And there we go, that was the finished project. Now to tell you about today's collab, it's with 3 other great channels. There's DIY House and Home, DIY and Crafts with Anna, the Redheaded Scrapper, and myself. So the 4 of us have joined forces to bring you guys some great summer farmhouse projects. I will have the link to the playlist and all of their channels in my description below. So I really hope you'll check them out. Okay, next I'm using another Easter sign that was in my stash. And I cut off the twine hanger, and we're going to give this one a coat of white as well. So still using that folk art chalk paint. Oh, I had a little hair in it I had to pull out. Okay, now we're going to give this a good coat of the white paint. Again, depending on your preference of how, if you want the white to be really solid or a little distressed looking. Now I'm going to take these numbers that I found at Dollar Tree as well, and this black chalkboard paint. I found this chalkboard paint at Dollar Tree as well, and I love it. It really gives a nice matte finish once it's painted. So I'm going to paint the numbers and give them a good coat of this chalkboard paint. Surprisingly, it only took one coat. It really does give really good coverage for a Dollar Tree paint. So now I just did the front and the sides because we are going to be gluing it to the board, so you're not going to see the back. So I didn't worry about painting the backs. And then I'm going to take this little crate that was also from Dollar Tree. It was previously painted for a different project, so I'm reusing it. And I'm going to give it a coat of the same black paint. So now we're going to put it all together. So just using hot glue, I'm going to put some glue on the back of this crate and glue it to the bottom of the sign. And then we're going to glue on these numbers. You'll see there was a couple little dots of paint that were still wet on the numbers, and they left little black marks on the sign. I just went over it with some white paint after, so you can't see them. So using hot glue, we're going to attach the numbers. And then I took two of these little greeneries. I found these at Dollar Tree as well. They came already wrapped in the little burlap sacks. So I just fluffed them up a little bit and removed the tags and popped those right into the crate. I really liked this idea because you can change out the greenery, you can add in flowers. It really gives you a chance to change it up depending on the season. And there you go. This is what it looks like all finished hanging outside. Now I'd love it if you would take a second and hit that thumbs up button for me, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe and become part of my YouTube family. Now for our last one today, we're going to take a spindle. Now these spindles you can find at flea markets, garage sales, marketplace, and also some of the hardware stores sell them. They're pretty inexpensive. I think I paid $3 or $4 for this one. Now I took some of these plant hooks that were from Dollar Tree, and I'm using them as legs. We're going to make this spindle stand up. So I'm taking 4 of them and screwing one on each of the 4 sides of the bottom of the spindle here. You'll see how it will stand up. So there we go. There's all 4 of them on to make it stand up. And now we're taking 2 of them to hang on the top. We're making kind of a hanging basket holder. So there you go. That's what it looks like all finished. Really simple. Just screw them onto the spindle, and there it is with some plants hanging on it. So here's all of our projects from today: our welcome sign, our house address sign, and that plant stand. Now don't forget to check out that playlist that's in my description below, and I hope you enjoy all the videos as part of this collab. And as always, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one.